This is Ghostbit Miner coming at you from the power of YouTube through the internet itself. Okay guys, so today we're going to be looking at how to make a FreeNAS USB. So first off, you want to go to FreeNAS.com right here, or .org, I'm sorry. And sorry about the loud fan, that's actually my computer in the background. I have 8 computer fans on here. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down a little bit right here. And it kind of gives you a little bit of information about what a FreeNAS is. Again, if you never heard about a NAS, or a FreeNAS, that's the software, that's the operating system, and a NAS stands for Network Attached Storage Unit. You can think about it as your own free local cloud that you control, and that all your information is being saved locally. So you can use this in a lot of different ways. We're going to be using this for a server file, network drive pretty much. We're going to be saving everything that we need to it, so we don't have to rely on a external hard drive or internal hard drive. We're going to all keep it in one place. Especially if you have multiple computers in your house, you can use this for saving family photos, saving games even. You can even turn this into like a cloud for your Steam folder, because I know those games do get pretty big, especially on Blizzard. The Call of Duty game right now, Warzone, is 271 gigabytes. That's outrageous. I remember when games were still megabytes, so definitely something you want to look at. So we're going to go ahead and click on download right here. And it should start to download. Here we go. Sorry about that. So it's going to take you to this right here. You can either put your information in to get the FreeNAS newsletter, which does help out a little bit. You can find out about updates and stuff like that. So you can either do that, you can sign up with all these different cool methods, or you can just put in your information right here. So I already did that, so I'm going to go ahead and hit this right here. No thanks. And it's going to send you to this page. Again, today we're going to be downloading FreeNAS 11.3. This is kind of the OG type of style, but the newer one. This one just came out in January, I think 28th, 2020. So this is kind of new, and this is for someone that wants to go a little easier. Definitely this is an easier route, but today we're just going to focus on FreeNAS 11.3. So we're going to go ahead and click on Legacy Download. As that's downloading in the background, remember you're going to need a boot device, and then you're going to also need another USB to be the media disk. So just keep that in mind. Pretty much right here we can go to the full hardware requirements. We'll click on this as that's downloading in the background. Overall, FreeNAS requires at least a minimum of 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's going to be the most important thing right there. It's going to require a boot device with at least 16 gigabytes of storage. Just remember guys, if you get a huge SSD, let's say a 1 terabyte SSD, and you're thinking, oh, this is going to be great, I only need 16 gigabytes and I can use the rest for storage. No, it doesn't work like that. This media device will consume the whole drive, so it doesn't matter if you have 16 gigabytes, which is recommended, or a teraflop. It's going to use all of the whole drive. So I recommend maybe getting like a 20 gig SSD, super cheap, you know, for a boot device. Longevity wise, that's going to be the best route to go. When you're using a USB, definitely there can be some failures. It can be disconnected. It just doesn't last as long as a SSD for boot up. But a lot of times, how many times are you going to boot up a NAS? Maybe once a year for maintenance. So you can also think about it that way. I'm going to go the OG fashion. I'm using a smaller USB that's going to go right in the back of the unit. That's going to be lodged in there, and nobody's going to know about it. It's really small. And this one I have right here is a 32 gigabyte USB 3.0 SanDisk micro USB. It's really small. Can fit in the back of any system. Or if you have an internal USB, even better, you can put it right in there and you'll be good. So we'll go ahead and stop right here, and we'll take a look at the computer I'm using itself. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the computer that we'll be looking at for the NAS project. This is just your typical office workstation from back in 2010, 2012. This is the Dell Occuplex 3010. This one does come with the i5 4050 in there. It's an okay, powerful unit, a lot better than what you can find in a over-the-counter NAS that you typically see for a WD and other type of NAS stations. So you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck. Guess how much this bad boy was? Just guess. Pretty shiny, right? I got this thing for $35. And let's go ahead and open this dusty boy up. So as you see from the interior, it is kind of gutted. I did install these RAM sticks myself. So the recommendation and the minimum recommendation is 8 gigabytes of RAM. So we have 8 gigabytes of RAM in there. We have an i5. And then we can also run additional SATA ports off of these right here, the PCIe slots. So if you wanted to go really intense, you really could. The only thing that's holding us back is this, I think this is like a 250 watt power supply, 265 watt power supply. So this is the only thing holding us back. But the cool thing about these guys is they're easy to pop out and pop a new one in. Nothing proprietary on these Occuplex. That's why the Occuplex right here is such a good unit to start building on, especially if you want to go on the cheap end, because you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. I do recommend the 7010 units because you get 2 more DIMM slots right there, so you can put up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, I believe, on those. Those are the max, and these are DDR3, so a little slower rates, but that's probably all you really need for a NAS. That's already kind of overkill. My theory is 1 gigabyte of RAM per 1 terabyte of storage. So pretty much you don't want to go over 16 gigabytes of RAM on these units. This one itself can only have up to 16, I believe, also, but it's a little bit different because you can have an 8 gigabyte for 16. The more channels of DIMM, the better for reliability issues. But overall, as you see right there, you can put 2 hard drives in here. These do come with a nice little caddies you can put in there. And then you can buy some additional bays that go in here, like the hot swappable ones that fit in these little slots right here. You can pull this one out and pull this one out and put hot swappable. So for this unit, really what you're looking at is about 4 hard drives for this unit. You can buy some pretty big hard drives nowadays. You can get, if you're gonna go crazy, you can get a 12 terabyte hard drive and go insane and get a pretty good NAS unit. Reliability on these are pretty good. Keep in mind, this unit for me is really only going to be running maybe when I'm using it. I'm not going to be running it that often. This is going to be my storage device for my YouTube videos. So right now what I'm going to be using is quite simple, nothing too crazy. I have one 2 terabyte NAS drive for the red WD NAS drive. So these are made to run all day, every day, non-stop. So these are definitely what you want to get. So the good thing about this is you can add additional hard drives when you need them, and then you can do a RAID. So what I'm going to be running, of course, is RAID 0 because I don't have an additional hard drive. So it's just going to be 1 hard drive in there for now. Eventually I'm going to add some more. So that's the computer we'll be using. I'm going to go ahead and show you what you're going to be needing for FreeNAS. I'm going to go ahead and shoot over to that video real fast. But this is what you are looking at right here for our project on this channel. First off, guys, the reason why I do sound stuffy and sick is because I am sick. I do have COVID-19. I've been quarantined for a week already in my own home. I live alone. I'm suffering. So if I need to take more rest than usual, that's because I have COVID. Overall, I am only 27 years old, so I'm not too worried about dying, but I am worried about getting any other person in this world infected. So I am staying home, making this video, staying warm in the Christmas spirit, guys. But anyways, let's get back to the video. So what you want to do is grab yourself a USB. As long as it's bigger than 16 gigabytes, you're good. I found this in the house, laying underneath the sofa. This is a 32 gigabyte USB. These are still very cheap. You can get them for maybe $15 or less, you know, depending on where you get them. But anyway, super affordable. All you're going to need this for is to boot. All you're going to need this for is actually as a media disk. You're going to plug this into your computer, install FreeNAS to this, and then you'll install it to your NAS unit itself. Again, this is just the media disk. This is not the boot disk. So let's go ahead and see what's going to happen on this website. Let's go ahead and take a look, guys. Okay, guys, so now that we have this whole thing downloaded, we're going to be taking a closer look on how to make a USB bootable drive. So now that we have FreeNAS downloaded to our computer, we're going to go over here and go to downloads, because that's where it's saved at. And there's the ISO file. Again, you can't really do too much with this. You're going to actually have to get a imaging software tool to actually image the iOS to a USB. So my favorite one to use right here, and it's free, I'm going to leave the link in the description down below, is Image USB by Passmark software. This is a free software. It works really well and very easy to use. So you just hit download, it will download in the background. Again, very easy. I use this multiple times for different jobs and different boot methods for USB. So we're going to go ahead and switch back over here because we do have this downloaded already. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that up. Give me 1 second, let me find it. I'm using multiple screens. So let's see, where do I have you at? Okay, let me go ahead and move that to this screen over here. I'm sorry, guys. So here we are. So that's what it's going to look like after you open it up. It already picks up the USB, so the first thing you want to do, let me get off of this screen. There we go. We'll put it right in front of this nice screen. So what you want to do now, guys, is select the USB you want to use. Again, we're using the PNY USB 3.0, and it's the 32 gigabytes, available 28.9 gigabytes of storage space. So you want to go ahead and select this. It's the first thing you do is select that. And now you're going to go ahead and click right here where it says write image to USB drive. So click on that. And now you want to browse for that ISO image. So I'm going to show you how that looks. So again, I downloaded it twice. We'll go ahead and click on the FreeNAS right here. And then the last thing you need to do is pretty easy, just hit write. Okay, and keep in mind when you do write to this, it's going to delete anything off of it that was on there before. So you have pictures of your kids or something like that you want to keep forever. Well, don't have it on this USB stick. So let's go ahead and hit yes. Again, it's going to give you the final warning that everything will be replaced and deleted. So we're going to hit yes again. So it's going to go ahead and start writing the image to the USB. Sometimes this does take a little bit of time, but I am using a Threadripper. And this is also a 3.0 speed, and I'm using a 3.0 slot on my motherboard. So it should be kind of fast. You know, it can take anywhere from 3 minutes to up to 30 minutes depending on your speed. So we'll go ahead and let that write. Remember, after you're done writing that, make sure to disconnect properly. You're going to go, again, I have multiple screens, so you just go over here, dismount properly from USB, and then once it says safe to unplug USB, go ahead and do that. Again, I'm using 4 screens, so that's why my bottom toolbar looks like that. So let's go ahead and let that finish up over there. Pretty much easy process. Again, just click on the link down below. It's free, very reliable software from Passmark, and it's easy to use. Follow my steps and you'll be able to boot up to FreeNAS in no time. Good, imaging complete. That's when you know it's complete. Again, just dismount safely. I'm gonna go ahead and show you how that looks over here. I do have like multiple USBs connected, so let me go ahead and get over here. Okay, so after you get it dismounted properly, we'll go ahead and plug that into our FreeNAS unit, and we'll go ahead and start uploading this iOS image into the other USB stick that we're going to use as a boot device. See you in that next video. Okay, so we got 2 of our USB sticks. Again, this is the media disk we just made. And this is going to be the boot drive. So both of them have nothing. Well, this one has nothing on it. This one has the media disk information on it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the back. The only bad thing is these are all USB 2, so this is going to be a pretty slow boot up time. And again, that's why I like these smaller ones. It's pretty flush. You can fit this behind a wall compared to if you have this big thing sticking out. You know, you're going to have that big gap between the wall and the computer. And it's just more leverage on here that will probably be able to break a lot easier compared to no leverage at all, really. That's why I like the micro USBs for this type of NAS boot device. So I'm going to pull this one out of here. I'm going to put this one in the front because this is just the media drive. We'll unplug this after we do the install of FreeNAS. So let's go ahead and plug everything in. Again, we do need a monitor, keyboard, and mouse for the setup. And again, don't forget your wired connection. So let's go ahead and get to that, and then we'll go ahead and start installing this FreeNAS to this NAS unit. Ooh, sexy. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab our hard drive. Our hard drives, depending on your situation. Again, I'm using the WD right there. As you can see, WD red from WD. I'm sorry, I do have COVID brain right now. My brain's all over the place. I have a little bit of a fever. So what you want to do is just slot this in before starting, because you want your drives already in here. Again, more than one drive is better. But look at this beautiful insert, guys. You gotta love that. I love Dell. You know, purpose-made machines that will last forever if you take care of them. Beautiful. So that's already installed right there. We're gonna go ahead and grab one of our SATA cables, and we're gonna plug that in. And then another cool thing about the power supply that comes with it, you have two SATA right here and then two SATA up here, which is great because, like I said, you can get that internal bays that go in here for two additional drives because you have the SATA power, and then you have the two additional ports. Again, you can always get a SATA, PCIe to SATA connector also, so you can do that as well. So this is a really good machine for a NAS unit. Again, 35 bucks, guys. You can't buy that anywhere. You know, if you're getting a pre-made NAS, for the NAS alone, it'll probably be $400. You know, again, it comes with their proprietary software. But you know, if you like technology, you might as well make your own NAS. It's easy to do, very cheap, very inexpensive. $35 for the unit. The hard drive itself was right here. I got it used. Again, not smart to get a used NAS drive, but it was from Amazon warehouse, so most of the time they're just returns. I got it for $50. So 2 terabytes of NAS storage for 50 bucks, you can't beat it. Again, I'm going to get some additional units, but this is kind of just to show you how to get started. And eventually I'm going to get the 2 terabytes up here, and then 1 more terabyte down here. And it'll be a pretty good YouTube NAS. You know, I don't think I'll outgrow it anytime soon. Again, I'm only shooting my videos in 1080p, so I'm not using 4K, so the storage is not that bad. So let's go ahead and plug this in. So if you're watching this video, you probably know how to plug in a hard drive anyways, but I'm going to go ahead and show you. So SATA to SATA port, and then your power goes right here. And then again, when you get your other one, you'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and get this media disk installed to the boot drive. Let's go ahead and do that, guys. Okay, now that we have everything ready to go, we have our Ethernet cable plugged into the back of the machine. We have our media disk right here in the front, boot USB in the back, and our storage device inside the 2 terabyte NAS drive. So let's go ahead and turn this bad boy on. And let's go ahead and start pounding F12 to get to the boot menu. Okay, so there's our boot options right there. So we're going to go right here to the UEFI boot screen. And we'll go ahead and hit here. Before we do that, I want to look at something real fast on this screen. Some of these machines do come with a option right there to boot. So we already have the USB storage right there. Pretty much everything is already on there as needed. UFEI is also right there as well, but we'll go to Legacy. I'm going to click on security because what I'm looking for is to see if this machine has a password on here, and it does not. Good. That's what we're looking for. I do have a video that I'll link right over here to show you how to take off the administration password on these machines. Most of the time these machines were used at schools, government buildings, medical buildings, things like that, so it would have a preset for that admin password. So we're gonna hit exit, and as I showed you before, it was already pulling up the USB media disk that it's gonna boot from. So we should be able to see some pretty cool things right now. And this should restart on its own. If not, power, oh, yep, there we go. So it restarted on its own. And now I'm assuming it was trying to pull from that 2 terabyte drive. Probably because back in the days, that's where it was booting from. So this should boot into the FreeNAS option right away now. Again, no operating system found. Having some issues. This is kind of strange. So I'm going to turn this off, unplug the media disk, plug it back in. Again, with these old systems, sometimes you do have to go through some of these troubleshooting things to get it to work properly. The good thing is we are seeing the FreeNAS pulling up on the media disk. So let's see what we got now. It might be trying to pull from that other USB device in the back. So let's go ahead and pull that other USB out of the back, and then we'll plug it in eventually. It's kind of in there good. So we'll plug this in eventually. The system will pick it up anyways. So let's see if that was the factor. We'll plug it in once we get into the install menu. You'll pull it up. Okay, so that was the issue. Again, it was trying to boot from this USB drive, which is nothing's on there, so that's why it wasn't booting from there properly. So now we're here, we're gonna hit 1. It should start booting properly now. So you'll see booting, and here we go. So that's good. So now what we want to do is I'm gonna go ahead and plug this into the front. Actually, I'm lying. I'm gonna go ahead and plug this back into the back. I can plug it in properly. Perfect. Okay, so that's plugged in. It's already detecting that I plugged something in. So we're gonna hit enter here, and it already pulled it up. So there's our 16 gigabyte SanDisk. You're gonna hit enter. Space to select your drive, and then hit enter for OK. Again, it's gonna delete everything off of it, so hit yes. And you're going to make yourself a password. Something easy to remember. And then hit OK. And we're going to boot via BIOS, since this is an older machine. If your motherboard does have support for UFEI, which this one does, you can use that. But for the sake of the video, we'll just hit enter over here. Okay, so let's see. It should be working pretty good here. Sometimes this does take a little bit of a minute to create, so we'll just let that do its job. I'm gonna go ahead and pause this for a little bit, and I'll go ahead and pull it back up when it's done. So as you see, since we are using a slow I guess 2.0 slot on the motherboard, installing is going to take a little bit of time. It's going to be a little bit slower than a SSD, of course. It's going to be a little bit slower than a 3.0 slot. So this is going to take a little bit of time. I'll go ahead and start timing it to let you know how long this will take. Again, this is a $35 computer that I got from Goodwill, actually. So I could have went a little bit more expensive and got the 710 that does have the super speed 3.0 slots in the front and back. So we're gonna go ahead and let this do its job. This might take a little bit of time, so let's go ahead and wait. I'll go ahead and pull up the video once it looks a little bit closer to finishing. Okay, side note guys, just because some people might think it's taking forever and you might want to restart your system, these numbers right here are the percentage of install on the media, or on your boot drive. So as you see, it's increasing. You want to wait until it says 100, of course. So 10%, 20%, 30%, 40 was here somewhere, 50, 60, 70, 80. So just wait, depending on what type of system you're using. If you're using a really extremely budget build like this right here for $35, you're going to sacrifice some time. Okay, so there's 100%. We'll go ahead and wait so you can see what you're going to do next. It will let you know that it's done. Installing packages. I'm so used to NVMe drives right now, so this is feeling like forever. But just wait, guys. Again, $35 for a network attached storage unit. You can't beat it. This thing will last forever. It's a Dell. So there you go. It's going to keep going and going and going until it's done. And then what you want to do, I'll go ahead and wait for this screen to pop up and then I'll tell you. But what you want to do once that screen pops up, you want to go ahead and turn your computer off, disconnect the media disk from the machine, and then let it boot. Because what we're going to be waiting for is the IP address of this machine, and then we'll go ahead and get to our other computer and we'll go ahead and boot from there, and we'll go ahead and finish up this video. And I'll show you how to do that. Side note, you have to have Windows 10 Professional to have any type of network attached storage devices, I believe, on your computers. So make sure you do have that on there. I might be wrong, I might be right, but normally it's always better to have that anyways. So now you see that it says FreeNAS installed on device 1, successful. So now you go ahead and reboot and remove the installation device. So you can hit OK. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Again, now it's turning off a fancier way because it's no longer a Windows computer. It is a FreeNAS computer. So you're going to go to unplug the media device, go ahead and turn it back on. It's going to boot up. Ooh, listen to that first boot. Again, that is the disk drive. Let me go ahead and close this door so you don't see my dirty house. So let's go ahead and let it boot up. First boot up on FreeNAS. This is kind of exciting. And let's go ahead and just let it do its thing, auto boot. So you can see it's booting. It's going to throw a bunch of stuff at you. Again, this is its first time booting. It's like we're entering the Matrix. Yes, this is a little bit more work than buying a pre-made NAS off of Amazon. A lot of times with those, you just, you buy the NAS unit, put your disk in there. You can do 2 to, up to 12 depending on where you get it from. The ones I use at work are the Buffalo NAS. They work okay, definitely you can do that. It's a little simpler. But if you want to go the more cyberpunk way and make your own for $35, you can, because a lot of times those machines do cost upwards of thousands of dollars just for the machines themselves. And this was only $35. And we're still at gigabit speed. So that's kind of cool. Redundancy on gigabit speed? No, not on this one. But you could go for a Windows-based server unit that will have redundancy, and you can still find one for under $100. Ooh, look at the pretty colors. Black and white. Look at this. So it is doing its first boot. It's grabbing the IP address and all that fun stuff from here. There we go. Here we go. Look at that, guys. Beautiful. Just beautiful. I'm gonna just let this B-roll play in the background. So let's let it do its job. The funny thing is, what I did was I added another fan in the front. I guess I need to go and actually get that to work properly. But that's the way it's looking on the inside. Pretty nice. Pretty nice, guys. Capable of holding up to 4 drives in here with a lot of airflow. So quiet. So quiet. Okay, so we'll go ahead and let this pull up. Again, we're waiting to get the IP address. Oh, yes. Very good. So we'll go ahead and pause the video for a little bit again. Oh, there it is. So that's the IP address we're looking for. It doesn't matter because I do have a password on here. So now this is everything set up. This is where you want it to be at, because that means your network attached storage unit is on your network. Congratulations, guys. Let's go to go back to the computer and set up a storage device. Here we go. Okay, guys, so now that we have our NAS set up, we're going to go ahead and set up the, I guess you can say the brains of the unit. So we're going to go ahead and type in the IP address that we got from our FreeNAS, and that's 192.168.1.25. So it's going to bring you to this screen right here. So that's a good sign. That means your NAS is properly working. So your username by default is going to be root. And the password is the password you set up when creating your network attached storage unit. So go ahead and put your password in now. Again, you can always change this password later on. So as you see, I already did a couple things here. I did fix my time zone. That's always the first thing I like to do, because I like to be on the right time so I can know what's going on. So what you want to do is to change your time zone. You go to System, General, and you click right here, and you can go down and switch it to whatever you want, and then you hit Save. So the second thing we're going to do is create a user account. So you go to Accounts. First, you're going to start off with a group. You can make an admin group, a guest group, whatever you want to do. So we're going to go ahead and make a test admin group. So we're going to call this admin with no space test. Okay, and then you can hit Save, and that's your group. Now we're going to make a user. So let's say if you live alone and it's only you living there, of course you can name it yourself if you want. But for testing purposes, we're going to go ahead and make a admin test user. Test user 1. And then again, it should create that automatically. I guess there's only so many characters. Let's make this a little more simple. Admin 1. So admin 1. So you can put your email in there if you want to, and a password. You do need a password for this. So let's just make it easy and call this root. And then let's confirm as root. Okay. And since this is an admin account, I do have everything selected, and you can hit Save. It'll be a little different later on if you made a guest account. So now that you have that set up, you're good to go. So now we're going to go to storage. You can see your disk drives here. So of course this will be the boot drive. If you want to change description, you can see right here, edit. And again, I already had it as description. You can hit save. And this is going to be the 2 terabyte WD red drive I have in there. This will be our main storage device. You can always hit edit, and then of course WD red, that's what I put. Okay, so those are your 2 devices. Of course, if you had more, you can definitely do a RAID drive, RAID 10 to 0, whatever one you want to use, of course. You can go on FreeNAS.com or .org and check what type of RAID they have available. So from there, the first thing you want to do is create a pool. So the pool I created already is right here. All you will do is you go to Add, Create Pool. Keep in mind, this is like adding a format to a hard drive that you just installed on your computer. Since I already did this, I can't add another one, but let's just pretend I could. We'll call it NAS. And then you would select your drive here, which would show the 2 terabyte one. You would hit the arrow over to add, and then you would just go create, and it'll make it. Since I don't have any additional drives, I can't really add anything here to show y'all. But again, type in the name. You'll see your drive right here. You're going to move it over to data, and then you hit add, or create, sorry, and that's it. So let's go ahead and move to the step we're at right now. So now we're going to add partitions. You're going to go right here to these 3 little dots. You're going to say add data set. This is how the computer can show it over the network. And we're going to go ahead and name it. You can think about these like partitions on the hard drive itself. So this one's going to be this called YouTube. Everything else, all the settings look good here. So we're going to hit save. And there is the first partition, YouTube. Everything looks good. And then we can add another one. Create pool. Oh, sorry. Wrong thing. It's my COVID brain. I'm sorry, guys. So we can go back on top, add data set, and then we can call this games. If you wanted to move your Steam library over, you could. But I'm not going to do that today. So those are your 2 partitions. You have YouTube, games, etc. So now that we have that, we're going to go... now that we have our, I guess, partition set, next thing to do, especially if you're using a Windows-based computer, is you're going to go to Sharing, and we're going to go to Windows Share, SMB. And we're going to add. So this is how you're going to be able to actually use this off any computer on your network, your local network. So we're going to go to Add, and there's our pathways. So click down here, there's our NAS. And we're going to go ahead and make one in YouTube, okay? There we go. So there's our pathway set up, and we're going to go ahead and hit save. And it says enable service. So this means, do you want FreeNAS to enable SMB file sharing? And you're going to hit enable service. Okay, so now that it has been enabled, it's going to say configure ACL. Since we made our user accounts already in our groups, we can go configure now. And we can hit enable service. Very good. Okay, so I already have it configured now. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put this for... Our user is going to be Kevin. And right here, we're going to go ahead and put it in admin group. And we're going to call it restricted. Okay, so everything looks good so far. There's one more thing we need to do, is under members. Because I think we'll have to come back to that later. Okay, so just remember your password to use for this person over here. Group, again, admin. Okay, everything looks good. So now we have the user set up. We have it set up to admin only, and restricted, meaning you're going to have to add the password on there, and you can save that in a little bit. Okay, and now you just hit save. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to access these folders we just made off the computer on the network itself. But before we get there, let's go ahead and take another look at our share folders we created. So right now we just have this one right here, which is the YouTube one, which can be accessed by me only on the network. We're going to go ahead and add something else right here. So we're going to add another one. We're going to do a pathway right here, NAS. We're going to go to games. So we're going to add the game folder. And we're going to go and save that. So we're going to call this one again games. Okay, and save. So we're going to configure now. And so from here, we're going to go ahead and keep this open. We'll just go under guest. Guest again for the ones we created. And for this one, we're going to call it opened. We're just going to keep game files on here. Just remember, you do have to be on the network to locate these files anyways. So don't worry about too much. Just if you have a guest or a friend over, you know, just tell them don't mess around with your game files, because that would be horrible, especially if you would associate your Steam library to this. Okay, and everything looks good, and you hit save. So everything looks good so far. So now we're gonna go ahead and add these to the computer. So you just go to here. Right now I'm on this this PC, and you can go to add network drive. So let me go ahead and swap this over here. Oops, I lost it. I have so many screens opened right now. Let's go ahead and do that again. Where did it go? Oh, this gets annoying using all these screens. Okay, so there it is. So we're gonna go ahead and map the drive. So we're gonna put in our IP address first. We're gonna go ahead and do games first, but let's use our IP address, which is 192.168.1.25, and then a backslash with the folder we're trying to attach, which is games. And we're gonna say reconnect at sign in, and we're gonna hit finish. So as you see, we're already attached to that. I did have my credentials already in there, but most of the time it's going to ask you to put your credentials in there. So this is for the open one on the NAS we just made, and we can go ahead and go new, and we can test this out. We can just call this games again, and look, we can save and edit and all that good stuff. So send this one's opened. And now we're going to go back over here, and now we're going to add the other one. So we're going to go to this PC, map a network drive. Let me go ahead and move this over to my fourth screen. And then we're going to go ahead and put this information, we're going to go ahead and put the same thing again. Again, this is the secure one, so it's going to add SKU for a password, of course. So backslash IP address 192.168.1.25 slash, now we're going to go for YouTube. Again, this one is the secure one because this will have video content that I don't want anyone to access. And there it is. Again, the reason why this works is I already put my credentials in there before. Normally it'll ask you to sign into that with your credentials, but since I have that set up already, you're good to go. So anyway, so this shows you how to do this on your computer, how to add your own cloud service per se. Okay, so pretty much that's it. Primarily what it would ask you for is your username and password to connect to these drives. I did this a little while ago to test it out, and I said save my credentials, so it doesn't have to, you don't have to sign in every time you turn on a computer. But that's kind of cool, guys. So now you have your own map drives from your own NAS device that you made. So let's go to look at that B-roll, and let's see what that sexy machine at work. Nice job, guys. Congratulations on making your own network attached storage unit. Again, it's a little bit more work than buying one off the shelf, but again, you own it. $35 plus a couple hard drives. So much cheaper. You'll save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars by doing it this way. Well, let's take a look at that sexy beast, guys. Hey guys, thank you for watching my YouTube video. Again, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon so you can get my videos the fastest way possible. Anyways guys, GhostBit Miner out. I'll see you in the next one.